Welcome to Cheater Confessions channel. We hope you will have fun with us. Enjoy watching. Let's get started with today's story. My name's Lucas. I met Eleanor 6 years ago at a product launch in Chicago. She was working logistics for a partner firm. I was heading marketing for hours. We clashed during the meeting. She corrected me on a delivery date in front of the entire room. After the session, I pulled her aside to address it. She didn't apologize. She didn't backpedal. She just stood her ground, confident and unbothered. Oddly, I respected it. There was something about her, smart, sharp, beautiful, the kind of presence that didn't chase approval, but commanded it anyway. That night we went out for a drink. We ended up staying for 4 months later, we were inseparable. A year after we started dating, Eleanor got an offer to join my company. Different department, better role. She accepted. We moved in soon after and married the next year. Eleanor was the kind of person who had 10 plans at once. I liked that. I liked how she handled chaos. She kept us organized, driven, goal-oriented. We made charts, budgets, 6-year plans. Everything felt like it had purpose at work. We weren't in the same department, but we crossed paths. People called us the power couple, and I wore that label with pride. We used to dream about quitting corporate one day and starting our own thing. Consulting, maybe something we'd build together. Back then I didn't question anything. I believed in her. I believed in us, but here's the thing about belief: when it starts to crack, even just a little, you can't unseen the fault lines. And looking back now, the first one appeared earlier than I'd admit to anyone, even myself. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was just a glance, a smirk, a comment I wasn't supposed to hear. But it stuck, and it was the beginning. It started with little things. At a team mixer, Eleanor told a story about how I once booked a trip to Miami and forgot it was hurricane season. Everyone laughed. I laughed too, but she kept going. He had to Google. "What do you do in a hurricane?" she said, raising her glass. He actually thought hiding in the bathtub was a solid plan. People cracked up. I forced a smile. Then she added, "Lucas is great in emergencies." If the emergency is ordering pizza that once stung, a few people looked at me trying to read my face. I just laughed it off. But inside something shifted. Another time during a charity auction, she joked Lucas's idea of budgeting is closing his eyes and hoping the bills disappear. I said nothing, just clenched my jaw and raised my glass. At a company dinner with her department heads, someone brought up home renovations. I mentioned we were thinking of redding the kitchen. Eleanor cut in before I could finish. "We'll see if Lucas can figure out how to turn on a drill first. Last time he tried to hang a shelf. I had to call my brother." Everyone laughed, even her vice president. After that night, I couldn't hold it in anymore. We were driving home, silence hanging between us. "You like making me look stupid in front of people." She rolled her eyes. "Lucas, it was a joke. Relax. You said I don't know how to use a drill in front of your vice president." It got a laugh, she said. "Maybe don't be so sensitive." That word, sensitive. She used it like a knife every time I showed discomfort. She labeled it weakness, but it wasn't sensitivity. It was clarity, the kind you can't unheard. Once it said out loud, she thought belittling me made her look strong. What she didn't see was that I'd stopped laughing and I'd started listening. I didn't argue, I didn't push back, but I didn't forget it either, and she didn't stop. Every time we were around people, it was like she had a spotlight and I was the punchline. At home things were fine, not great, just fine. We were still functional, still planning trips, still going through the motions, but something had shifted. She stayed late at work more often, said she had meetings, said she was building bridges with upper management. I wanted to believe her. But then one night I stopped by her office to surprise her with dinner. She wasn't there. Her assistant Marlene blinked at me. "She left an hour ago," said she had a date night. I stood there holding a paper bag full of tacos. When she got home 3 hours later, she didn't flinch. "Oh," she said, dropping her keys. "I forgot. I told them that I went to get drinks with the team." I watched her, no guilt, no stumble. "Drinks with who?" I asked. "Benjamin from finance and some others." She said it casually, too. Casually. I nodded, sure. She kissed me on the cheek like nothing happened. That night I couldn't sleep, not because I knew something was wrong, but because I knew I was about to find out. And once I did, nothing would be the same. I started paying attention, not obsessing, just tracking every time Eleanor said she'd be late. I wrote it down every time she mentioned Benjamin. I made a mental note. I didn't accuse her. I didn't blow up. I just listened. Then one Thursday night around 10:30, she came home humming, "You're late." I said. She kicked off her heels and poured herself a glass of wine. It was Benjamin's birthday. A few of us went out. Just a few. She paused. "Yeah, just a few." That night I checked her phone while she showered. Her passcode was the same. It hadn't changed, but her messages with Benjamin gone, all of them. She deleted the thread. That's when I knew I didn't confront her. I called my friend Leo, who worked in IT. Security, not corporate level. Personal level. Discreet. "I need a favor," I said. "Can you recover deleted messages from a cloud backup?" "Who's my wife's?" He didn't ask questions. Just said, "Send me her login info. I'll take care of the rest." 3 days later Leo sent me a file. It wasn't just messages, it was screenshots, videos, voice memos. I clicked through the folder. Hand steady. There were texts between Eleanor and Benjamin going back months. Not just flirty texts, explicit ones. They talked about meeting in hotels, about laughing at me, about how clueless I was. There was one voice note. I played 3 times. Benjamin's voice. "He still has no idea. Damn, you're savage." Eleanor laughed. "He's not even suspicious." Lucas's 3 polite. I sat there for a long time, just breathing. It didn't feel like heartbreak. It felt like clarity, like someone wiped the fog off a mirror and forced me to look. That's when I decided I wasn't going to lose my mind. I wasn't going to lose my temper. I was going to win. I spent the next 3 weeks building my case like I was preparing for trial. First I made copies of everything printed. The texts saved, the audio. I had a folder labeled insurance hidden in a drawer she never touched. I installed a small audio recorder in the living room. Lamp, nothing illegal, just smart, just in case. Then I played the long game. I acted normal, nicer, even I offered to cook. Asked about her day when she mentioned Benjamin. I nodded like I didn't already have the whole movie downloaded in my head. She smiled, more relaxed. Thought she still had control. Perfect. I also met with a lawyer. Camila. A stone professional. She listened without interrupting, took notes and didn't ask unnecessary questions. Once I laid everything out, she mapped the strategy clearly. No confrontation, no sudden moves. I already had leverage. I just needed to make it airtight. Evidence patterns. Timelines. The more the better. So I kept going, gathering proof, building, structured, staying patient. She had no idea. Then came the real break. I found out Benjamin was married. I reached out to his wife Anna. I didn't come at her aggressively, just emailed her privately with proof. She responded 3 hours later, wanted to meet. We sat down at a neutral cafe. She was calm, collected. How long, she asked. Almost a year. I said. She nodded. He told me he was mentoring her. I didn't laugh. She didn't either. I shared what I had. She didn't cry, she just said, "Then I guess we both know what we need to do." We shook hands like business partners. After that, things moved fast. HR got an anonymous tip. So did Benjamin's boss. So did the ethics hotline. And just like that, the countdown started. What Eleanor didn't know was that I wasn't just building a case for divorce. I was about to burn the whole damn foundation she thought she owned. The company held a quarterly leadership retreat, something flashy at a resort upstate. Eleanor had been invited for the first time. She was proud of. It bragged about it for weeks. "This is where promotions are born," she said, packing her suitcase like she was going to war. "You should see the executive roster. It's stacked." I smiled. "Will Benjamin be there?" She didn't blink. "He's a director." "Of course he will." 3 days into the retreat, I got a call from an unknown number. An HR representative said there had been a formal investigation opened involving 3 employees in an inappropriate relationship. I didn't ask who I already knew. They said they were contacting spouses for context. I gave them what they needed: timeline, dates, names. When Eleanor got back, she looked pale, shaken. "How was the retreat?" I asked, pouring coffee like nothing was off. She didn't answer. Right away there was a complaint. She said carefully, "Some jealous admin probably made up a story about Benjamin and me." "Is that right?" She watched me. "Why do you sound so calm?" I shrugged, because if you didn't do anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. She didn't respond. That was the first time she didn't have a comeback. The following week, HR made it official. She and Benjamin were both placed on leave pending investigation. Emails were frozen. Company phones collected. I found her in the kitchen one morning staring at her coffee like it had betrayed her. "This is insane," she muttered. "I worked so hard for that place." "Yeah," I said, battering toast. "Tough break." She finally snapped. "Do you even care that they're destroying my career?" I looked at her, calm as ever. "Did you care when you were destroying our marriage that shut her up?" She left the room without another word. At that moment, I knew the tides had shifted. She wasn't the one in control anymore. She was scrambling, and I hadn't even played my final card. 3 weeks after the suspension, Eleanor was officially terminated. The company didn't say much, just a cold internal memo: violation of company policy, breach of ethics, no names. But everyone knew word moves fast in our industry. Benjamin was fired too. His wife Anna had filed for divorce and posted a curated piece of the affair online, enough to spark whispers without going full tabloid. By the time HR wrapped up, Benjamin was radioactive. No firm would touch him. Eleanor came home that afternoon in silence. No tears, no drama. Just sat at the kitchen table, phone in hand, staring at the wall. "I'm going to fix this," she said. "How I have contacts, people owe me favors." I just nodded. The next morning, I served her the papers, calm, straightforward, irreconcilable differences, infidelity, emotional cruelty. She didn't look surprised, just defeated. "You planned this," she said. "Every step." She laughed, once bitter. "You waited for me to fall." "No," I said. "I made sure you tripped on your own." She tried to fight it, hired a cheap lawyer, but without income. Her options were thin. I had documentation, recordings, the entire digital trail. My lawyer, Camila Steamroll. The case in court. Eleanor's lawyer tried to play the victim angle. She was under extreme workplace pressure. Lucas was emotionally unavailable. The judge cut in. "Let's stick to facts." We did. I got the house. I got the accounts. She walked away with a fraction of what she expected. She still didn't know how HR got tipped off, or how Anna and I coordinated timelines, or how I made sure her fall wasn't loud but permanent. People say revenge is messy, that it'll eat you alive, but I didn't feel rage. I felt focused, and when the judge read the final ruling, I didn't smile. I just shook hands with Camila, walked out, and didn't look back, because the real win wasn't what I got. It was what I didn't lose. Myself. A month after the divorce was finalized. Eleanor texted me. Can we talk just once? I stared at the screen for a minute, then typed back 1 hour Lucasaro noon the new cafe downtown. She showed up 6 minutes late, wearing the same black blazer she used to wear when she wanted to look in charge. It didn't work anymore, Lucas, she said, like she'd rehearsed it. Thanks for meeting me. I nodded. Say what you need to say. She sat down slowly, eyes searching mine. I just wanted to understand how did this all happen so fast. I sipped my coffee. It didn't. It was slow, calculated. So it was you. You sent the tip to HR. Yeah, her jaw tightened. You ruined everything I worked for. No. I said calmly, you did. I just turned on the lights. She looked down, then up. I didn't think you'd ever fight back. I know you built this version of me in your head. Quiet, passive, harmless. You thought you could keep taking from me and I'd just absorb it. She didn't argue, just sat there, letting it land. Then I leaned in. I didn't destroy you, Eleanor. I exposed you. You want to blame me because it's easier than owning the fact that you broke something solid for a fling with a guy who treated you like a side project. Her voice was low. You still sound angry. I'm not angry. I said I'm free. She looked like she might say something else, but nothing came, just silence. She stood and walked out. I didn't watch her leave, didn't need to. 6 years ago, I met a woman who made room stop when she walked in. Today she couldn't even meet my eyes. I paid the bill, stepped outside and didn't look back. It was over, not dramatic, not loud, just done. And for the first time in a long time that was enough. My story ends here. If you feel that this story is meaningful and brings useful lessons, please like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thanks.